Okay, so what I want to look into this bonus video here is really about installing the AWS command line interface. So a CLI is basically, it's a small tool that gets installed locally onto the laptop, the computer, the server, that will basically allow you to interact with some product and service. And in this case, it's going to allow us to interact with the AWS products and services that we actually have running. So basically, if I go into the command line interface documentation here for AWS, you can basically sort of see, it describes about what an actual CLI is. So a CLI, is a tool into the command line interface. So what I want to do is I want to go into the notes here about the install and update. And there's various options that I can kind of pick here. I can install it onto Linux, I can install it onto Mac OS, I can install it onto Windows. Now I'm going to choose Mac OS because that's my operating system here. So I'm going to go in there, and basically in as part of this Mac installation for the CLI, you basically have various options. You can run it through a GUI installer, you can run it through the command line. I'm just going to simply do it through the GUI. Some people would prefer the command line, and generally I do, but I want to kind of keep this video nice and kind of short and quick. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to download this PKG file, which is here. I'm going to basically, when I've actually got it downloaded, I'm going to right click it and I'm going to say run. And you'll sort of see that basically what comes up here is that I basically have, to install the AWS command line interface. So it sort of says you will be guided through the steps necessary to install the software. I click and continue. This one's installed this version. So always be kind of careful because the CLI will always kind of get updated. But basically there's a README here. I want to continue here. I want to continue with the license here. Do you agree to the actual installer to run? Yes, you do. And here I want to sort of pick, install for all users on this computer. And I want to pick, where is it actually going to get installed to? So I can sort of see it's gone into the hard drive, into the user, into local, which is fine. And it'll take that amount of space, and I let that installer run. And you can sort of see, I mean, the CLI always, they're always very small, whether they're, for Kubernetes or whether for AWS or GCP or Azure, but they're all very, very small and quick to install. And then what it basically sort of says is, so you install it into your browser, you run the download file for all users. So basically, once the actual installer has completed, what I'm able to do here is just make sure that, it sort of says to verify that the shell can find and run the AWS command in your path file, use the following command. So I can sort of say which AWS here, I can say AWS -- version, and you can sort of see it's basically bringing up the installation that we just installed for the AWS CLI. So the CLI again, nice little tool. It will basically, allow you into products and services for AWS